Hello everybody and welcome to what could be the last video I ever do. Right, this is kind of a combination of an apology to say sorry I have to go through this and sorry I'm going and everything else, and an explanation of why I'm doing that. I don't typically do voice narration over videos like this. I tend to typically actually do it live while playing the game. In this case, I've actually am doing narration over the game, just so then I can concentrate on just talking to you guys and not get distracted what's going on within the game itself. I have put a bit of edited footage in of some of the off-screen stuff I've done on Facebook. On Farm Simulator, I should say, Farm Simulator 2019 and American Truck, just so then you guys have got something to watch while I sort of like yabber on and on and on. If you guys didn't manage to catch me on the stream and haven't managed to see the archives as of yet, with the stream archive, I ranted on and on and on about this, and I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record. If you've seen that already and know where I'm going with this. Now, for you guys and girls that don't know what's going on, this is all down to the FTC and their new laws, their COPPA law. Basically, I'm going to try and break it down into its most simple form. It's a form of it's a form of data protection being set in place. It started off, I think it was signed off in 1998 by Bill Clinton, I think. Don't quote me on that. The new COPPA law, and obviously it gives the FTC more powers to sort of elaborate on that sort of law, and they brought in and amended it in 2003, I think. It finally was amended, and etc, etc, etc. How does that affect me, and how does that affect a lot of content creators which you know and love on YouTube? It affects them a lot. Basically what happened, I think it was last year or this year, may have been this year, might have been 2018, might have been 2019, either way, the FTC filed a complaint against YouTube, basically because they're in breach of COPPA law for selling personal information in the form of cookies, which is, again, I won't go into the nitty-gritty of it, but this cookies are a way of you're tracking your history, what sort of sites you go on to, etc, 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 and they're selling that information to advertiser companies, and they're saying, these people typically like this certain product, this certain time, we can place your adverts at this certain time, this certain point, now, where the COPPA law comes in is because the Privacy Protection Act for children under the age of 13, so at 12, they constitute a child up to the age of 12. Once they become 13, obviously they become a teenager, which, don't get me wrong, I think, I think I've heard that they're going to even extend that up to, the FTC's even going to start playing about and extend that up right up to the age of 16, maybe 18, to protect them. And what it does is it just basically prevents companies from obtaining any personal information like phone numbers, account numbers, or whatever. Even their tracking history, and that's personal data to them. It's personal data to everyone, but because they are child of the age of 12 and under, they are protected by COPPA to mitigate against that, so the information can't end up in the wrong hands. Because of that, and because what YouTube was doing, and they openly admitted, a bit like a Paul Logan moment, they openly admitted that they were sort of like bragging about it to companies that, oh yeah, lots of kids under the age of 13 or 12 and under were using YouTube main. Because there's two, obviously, for you people who don't know, there's two YouTubes. There's YouTube Kids, that's for kids under the age of 12 and under. And then there's YouTube, the main YouTube, which is adults, or they deem as adults, for 13 upwards. So unfortunately, people can lie. They can make up any date they like to create an account with YouTube, just so then they can watch and deem the adult content of the said thing. So this is where the problem lies. You get problems with kids obviously getting their information taken, and such cookie information mainly, and then being sold to advertisers, so they're prime contact. You know they play certain ads in certain videos to target said audiences. Say for instance, said person, whether they're 12 or not, had an interest in mountain biking, so they'll place ads, strategically placed ads into them buying mountain bikes. Or if they liked, let's say they liked hobbies like model aircraft, or they're put in Airfix adverts, or model railway adverts, or toy adverts, or stuff like that, just so then they can sort of make a better market share. And I can go on all day. They could, you could be interested in sort of motor vehicle engineering, so they could put in place in tool ads and stuff like that. Even with farming, videos like this, Farming Simulator or American Truck, they're going to place in sort of adverts for like farming equipment or trucking equipment, whatever. And so that's how that they guarantee they get the biggest audience for their products. And obviously YouTube sells these specific areas to companies in those specific genres. That aside, because obviously the 12-year-old and under are protected and they can't have those cookies obtained, basically the FTC filed a complaint against YouTube and sued them up to the mark of 170 million. I think it's 100. Was it 1 point? No, I think 170 million. I think it's 1.7 million. I think, or it could have been 170,000. I don't know. I forget what the actual. I think it was 1.7 million. I think. I know it was a large amount of money, which then they sued YouTube for. They not only did that, they put in sort of like measures to YouTube to abide by. And it's not just YouTube, a lot of other American based formats such as Twitch, or I think TikTok. I think that got sued by the FTC as well. But it's going to be Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, anything that's American based. Even Steam, I guess, could even potentially be thrown under the bus with all this that's going on. Now, again, you might be wondering, well, how's this all affecting you, Kev, and as a creator? Right, well, some of the, like I was saying earlier about what some of the stuff which the FTC have placed into YouTube to make sure YouTube is honouring the COPPA law, I should say. What they're doing is they've forced the YouTube creators, they're basically saying YouTube creators are now responsible for what they, how they manage their channels. Now, basically, if for any creator that's watching this, they know exactly what I mean by now. They've been sent notification from YouTube saying this is all going on, and they're going to give you two options, which is one safe for kids and one is not, was adults only. So what's wrong with that, you may be wondering. A lot, because the rulings from the FTC are so vague and so open to interpretation that there's a big, huge problem. You could quite easily fall in foul of the FTC's COPPA law.
Your boots and your motorcycle. Just kidding.
And it's problematic because what could potentially happen, someone could quite innocently get it wrong and end up with a fine. Like like I was saying on the stream, there's Sam's trains. He's turned his to children, but he could quite easily get something wrong. Or people that do anime. That's another prime example. Again, they've placed their, it's an animated content, but they might have intended it for an adult audience. But because it's anime, children are into anime, so they could fall foul of it. Now the FTC have made an exemption to what they call a mixed audience category, which means that basically the person's not intending the video to be for kids only or for adults, it's for everyone, or what I have to deem now as work safe, or for everyone. You can't say the other terminology, because again that can get you into trouble, and certain key phrases can also get you into trouble, and it's quite easy to fall into trouble with the COPPA law or the FTC. Now, I don't think they're going to victimise smaller channels straight away. I think they're going to go for the most persistent top-end channels that own a vast majority of will earn a vast majority of money either from merchandising. More or less, they've turned their YouTube channel into a business, and they're earning a good amount of money from that, not just YouTube AdSense money, but they're earning from merch, they're earning from potential donations, or yada 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 yada. I could go on forever. So they've more or less set their channel as a business, and they've made themselves into an entrepreneur. And that's why a lot of people did YouTube in the first place. They could see a potential. They didn't have the economic knowledge, or didn't have the right sort of knowledge to get into business,
turn left,
or architecture, or anything which is just more of a specialised kind of skill. And I include myself to that. I do know the law, and I could bore you silly on what I know and what I don't know, about engineering, about avionics engineering, about motor vehicle engineering. I could go on all day long about what I know and what I don't know, and I've still got a lot to learn. Even for someone my age, I've still got a lot to learn, and I'm forgetting more every day, believe it or not. More I learn, the more I forget. But anyway, I digress. Because a lot of people with I'd say more low skilled, they've got an opportunity. There's a door there. It's no guarantee they may not get anywhere. Like my channel's not getting anywhere, and won't be getting anywhere if this COPPA. Well, unfortunately, after the 1st of January, it's a case of I may have to delete the channel, purely because of what's going on with all these rulings and everything else. I don't want to do it, but I'm scared. And the reason I'm scared, like I said, is the fact that the FTC, if they deem
turn left,
something which is, you've posted it as child friendly, or suitable for kids, I should say, and there's something in there which they deem as adult related, they're going to then fine you for that. And vice versa. If I set it suitable for adults and they think whatever content I've got is focused towards children, they're going to then fine me for that. And I'm not going to intentionally do that. As I said, I want to keep my channel
John Wright.
work safe, quote
John
unquote. Everyone can watch it. I don't want to victimize anyone out of it. I want to make sure everyone has. Obviously,
You've arrived.
I'm not a
Hasta la
parent,
vista,
um,
baby.
so I can't admit to that. I've got lots of sisters. Well, I've got 2 sisters with kids, and so I've got lots of nephews and nieces, and I'm not big. I couldn't even see myself as a dad, but anyway, I think everyone has the potential and has some sort of pre-wired parenting sort of skill in their head, and when dealing with youngsters, it kind of kicks in, and you sort of like have a maternal instinct kick in, and then you think, right, you get like a daddy syndrome in your head. So you want to protect them, you look after them, and you don't want to see them come to any harm. So that's what kicks in, and I can assume it's even worse if you are a dad or a mum. But anyway, I digress. I've gone off subject here, but again, it's a case of they want YouTubers to be more responsible for the content they do, so then they don't fall foul of the COPPA ruling. But because the COPPA rulings are so vague, and they could, and because obviously they're going to be working alongside YouTube, and YouTube is probably going to use some sort of bot to analyse each and every video to determine whether it's child safe or not, or whatever. Again, then they're going to sort of potentially, the person's going to fall foul to losing their Google account, losing their channel, and then also getting a fine from the FTC on top. So, losing my channel would bother me. That doesn't scare me the most. Losing my Google account, again, doesn't really bother me. There's ways and means of making a new Google account with a new email address. Easy, you can get around that. There's no way they can verify where you've come from if you're the same person. Again, ways and means around that. I could make up a new YouTube channel. I'd have to start all over again, which would be a pain. But I would do that if there wasn't the fine aspect of that. The problem that scares me the most is I doubt it would apply to me being such a small channel, and I don't think the FTC is going to necessarily, like I said earlier, hunt smaller channels. They're going to make an example of bigger channels first, the ones earning lots of money from what they're doing. So because it wouldn't benefit the FTC to find someone that's not earning any money like me from YouTube at the moment, and they're just trying to make scratch a living out of what jobs they work in. But they could still impose some sort of like small fine, like £100 or whatever. It can possibly happen, and that's what scares me, having that overhead. And me and Sinky kind of joked upon it in the stream as well. You could potentially get extradited to America, but it wouldn't be fun. It would be like a day trip. You're just going straight to prison, and then once you've served your prison sentence, you're then going to get extradited back to the UK, and then you still have to pay whatever fines which have been imposed to you by...
I'm looking for Sierra Cana, but we can go to your destination first.
Sorry, the video just distracted me. I'll turn my headset down. They could still impose fines to get you... you still have the fine, like I say, you still have the actual fine to pay when you get back to the UK. And you've no longer got a job because you've spent however long possibly in prison. You've now got a criminal record, both over in America, so you can no longer actually physically go and visit America if you wanted to. And you've also got a criminal record over here, because that's obviously going to come back over to the UK as well. So then you're going to find it hard to find a new job. And then you've got the problem of having this big debt potentially over your head, and the rest of it. And the life could be potentially ruined. That's a worst case scenario. And I could be just overthinking this, but I'd rather overthink this and then underthink this and think, it'd be okay, I'll be alright, I'm a small channel, no one's going to bother me, only then to 4 or 5 months down the line then have, because it's not just the once they do it on, they analyse every video. Then once they've caught something, they go back, analyse every video you've done, and then see if there's any more instances of said violations of COPPA. So they're going to then go, I found this, I found this, I found this, I found this, I found this. And then before you know it, again, it could be started off as like $100 fine, and it could mount up, or it could be $1,000 fine. And they're going to do that per video. And like I say, it could be $42,000 per video. That's the top end they can fine. From what I can understand, like I said, the FTC don't have the funds to necessarily go and fine lots of people at a given time. In fact, they do it very rarely, from what I can understand. But it can happen, like what happened with YouTube. It turns out 170 million or 1.7 million is their annual budget. I think it's 100. It's one of them. Whatever the amount was, is their annual budget for a year. Believe it or not. So that's given them probably more money to do what they need to do. And like I said in the live stream, governments do like to chase money. If it's free money going available and it's there to be taken, they'll have it, and they'll just squander it, and then they'd probably put it into programs. Hopefully, you'd want to hope that they'd put it into beneficial programs to educate parents, to educate YouTubers, to educate everybody. Educate businesses, educate, just so then to prevent people from falling into the same trap. But because, like I said earlier, with the things being so vague and open to interpretation,
Turn left.
I think it's single-handedly gonna ruin not only YouTube.
Turn right.
I think, like I said earlier, it's gonna ruin
Turn right.
YouTube. It's gonna ruin potentially Twitch. It's gonna ruin any US-based sort of like site that's similar to YouTube, where people can upload videos to. I think it's a Mixer. I think there's quite a few in America, which I have never heard of. I've seen the names pop up, but they've never meant anything to me, because they're fairly small, they're lower end, they've only just started out. But eventually the FTC are going to go after the big guns, like, say, Facebook. Facebook especially, because they obviously incorporate ads onto everybody's page, and again they use the same tracking information and to sort of like put specific targeted ads to that specific person. So as you scroll through Facebook, you sit there and go,
turn right.
okay, oh yeah, wish.com, or eBay,
right.
or this, or that, or I could do that, and then click on a link to go to the advert or the site. And obviously Facebook are getting paid lots of money to do that. But there again, the FTC will go after them against a US company, so they have to abide by US laws. Right. Rant about COPPA over. My future plans from now on, pretty much, from the 1st of January, I should say,
Right.
2020, I'm primarily gonna be I'm gonna keep my Facebook page open for as long as I can. So for you people who already are members of that, thank you very much in advance. If you people aren't aware of that, head on there now and sign, join the group. And if you really care about what I do as a content creator, and that's the only thing I can ask, as a content creator, I'm going to try and keep that page going for as long as I can, and I'll put little videos, because obviously Facebook doesn't allow you. I could potentially stream on there, but that is another thing. I may do that, but I'll do little videos initially, just little quick snippets of things I'm doing, maybe the odd occasional live stream later on down the line. Ideally, I'm going to have to look around for other sites like YouTube that are not American based, that are based either UK or Europe, because then all I really need to worry about is copyright side of things, such as music, etc, etc, etc. That's all I need to worry about there, which is a lot less of a minefield than this whole COPPA thing is. Ideally, a British made platform. I even toyed with it. I may even talk to my brother about it. It's something I will talk to my brother about, because he's the best person to ask. That, or a web developer, someone that knows how to do all this. If we could somehow make our own channel, so then we can continue doing what we're doing before, but without the whole limitations of COPPA. The only downside I can see with that is we'd have to make it so it's limited, so it's only visible within the European communities, which I really don't want to do. I'd like the people in the States to see what I do for work. I think I've got a couple of people, a couple of subscribers that are US based.
Keep it right.
A vast majority of them are UK or European based. But I do have a couple of people that are subscribed to me from America, and thank you again for your subscribes and all your supports. And it's like I said earlier, just something I don't want to do, but I'm forced to do this. And I as I say, I'm sorry about that. I really am sorry. I don't want to do it, but I've got no choice. I'm just scared about the whole fines of it. I thought about making the channel private, but even if it's a private channel, because the videos are part of the domain, they can still fine you for that, because you could inadvertently share that with someone under the age of 12. Again, we're going back to COPPA, and I'm sick to death of talking about it, and it upsets me, because okay, I was a small channel, and I admit I haven't been working as hard as I have been on the channel. I kind of got demotivated with what was going on with aspects, because I could see the views were dropping down, and it doesn't matter what I was trying to do, just wasn't getting anywhere. The channel was gaining subscribers slowly. Again, I'll thank you a lot for that. But the views weren't sort of like going up. They're always going. I'd get I was lucky to get 10, 15 views on most of the latest videos I was doing. A lot of older videos I've got, such as my bottom boxing video, that's still generating views, thousands upon thousands of views per day, and I think that's thankfully a lot to thank for with my analytics. I think when I looked at my last analytics from YouTube the other day, I was 700 subscribers and over 2,000 hours of watch time. It's 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers in order to get monetized, but that doesn't matter anymore, like I said, as what's going on with the whole of the January the 1st thing. There is a small chance this may not happen. a lot of subscribers have signed petitions and in talks with the FTC directly and people with their legislators to try and mitigate this or change this in a way so then YouTubers feel more secure and more safe with what's going on. And for those people that are generally what I deem as work safe or doing content suitable for all, they're the ones that are getting the ones that are most scared. The people that don't care are the ones that sort of like put up viral videos of something which is inappropriate, and there's a lot of bad eggs in YouTube that do stuff like that, and YouTube has filtered out a lot of that. Thankfully, there's a lot more work which probably won't need to be done now once they've imposed this whole COPPA thing, because that's going to do a lot of the work for them, because they're going to just get fined and they're going to get taken down anyway. But anyway, again, I'm going back to COPPA. But like I was saying earlier, my long-term plan A, obviously I'll continue doing Facebook page for as long as I can. So please, peeps, if you want to support me in any way you can, and you like the content that I do, and you want to continue supporting me, the basic you can do straight away. Just log on to that Facebook page and then become a member. Everyone is welcome. Again, I want to keep it work safe. And if you're another fellow YouTuber that's looking for a place of refuge, again, another small channel like mine, again, I'm more than happy for you guys to come in and do little mini videos. Unfortunately, limitations of YouTube make it hard for you to make a big video, but you can make a small video, just doing little bits of what you're doing. Again, as long as it's work safe, as to say, or suitable for everybody. I don't want to make explicit for adults, explicit for children. I just want to try and keep everyone involved. That's my ethos of the, and that's the thing I agreed with the YouTube new contact. That was being me all along. I keep it work safe and suitable for everyone. Please just go onto the Facebook group. You'll see the link both in the description down below, also in the top right hand corner of my main page. Also, if you want to, while you're there, if you spot my PayPal donation, again, if you want to help me in that way, please feel free to. I'm not putting a gun to your head. Any donation will help. If it's from £1 to £100 or £1, £5, £2, whatever. If you want to just chip in, help me out in any way you can, again, that helps me out as well. Thank you for thinking about doing that. Even if you don't do it, if you're thinking about it, at least you're thinking about it. But again, you can support me that way. We'll be on there until I can either find a new site which is not going to be affected by this whole FTC COPPA laws, or B, ultimately make my own site which I can do that. I even have a plan C, which is a bit weird and a bit long-winded. Plan C is interesting, but like I say, a bit long-winded at the same time. What I could do, I could utilise Dropbox. What I could do is on the Facebook page, once I've done a video, I can upload it to Dropbox and then leave it there for 24 hours while you guys download it.
Ahead, turn
You
left.
can then watch it and then once you've watched it, you can delete it or whatever. And then after 24 hours, I'll delete that, and then same again. Once I delete, when I upload something else, I'll send out a new link via the Facebook page. I know that's a bit of an ache, because that's going to, especially if people's slower internet speeds, downloading a file like big could potentially, take hours. I don't know if it's going to work. It's just an idea. It's something I'm going to try. All depends on what the maximums. I know the free edition of Dropbox is limited on how big a file size you can actually have. So that might be a factor. I may have to do a paid version of it. Again, it's all stuff I need to do some research. That's ultimately the last resort. I'm going to try exhausting the other options first to find a new site from which I can sort of relaunch myself on. If that doesn't work, then, as I say, that is the only option I've got, is to do the little mini videos, and to see and keep looking and watching from a distance what happens with YouTube and aspects to that. You're going to, like I say, you're going to see a lot of videos or a lot of creators disappear overnight, and you're going to wonder why, and that's what that's all about. And again, I want to apologise that I've happened to do this. I don't want to do it. I've got no option to do it. But again, I want to thank you all, everyone, from the bottom of my heart, for all your support, all your comments, all your likes, even if it's once in a blue moon you've dropped in to say hello or whatever. Again, it all helped out. We got to 700 subscribers on YouTube, and again, like I said earlier, I wasn't 100% motivated, but I was still trying where I could to sort of like do videos and content to you guys, because I just didn't want to turn my back on you guys and give it all up. I was thinking about taking a break anyway, just so then I could recap, and this potentially could help me out in that aspect. It's going to force me to sort of like take a look at what I need to do next, long term, etc., etc. But again, I'll say thank you all. I'm very sorry it's come to this. I didn't want this to happen, and I hope you guys, and I wish you guys, all the best in the future. For you guys that can't do Facebook or whatever, for whatever reasons, or if you're thinking about doing, if you say go to Twitch, Kev, I may try it, but eventually, like I say, the FTC will come after them soon eventually, because they're American. But anyway, going back into the COPPA, I'm gonna go quiet now, and then I'm gonna just let the rest of the video play out. Hope you guys and girls enjoy it. If you did, again, guys and girls, give it a like, smash the like button. If you didn't like it for any reason at all, I rambled on for a long time, and this video's gone on a long time. Give it a thumbs down. It's up to you. Leave comments either way. I just want to know what your thoughts are, just so I can touch base with you guys and girls. And I hope you see you hopefully on the Facebook page. If not, hopefully at some point we may meet again on some other media platform. Ta-ta for now.
You've arrived. Hasta la vista, baby.